property manager Tracy Streich helps us see multifamily from a property manager perspective and how they can help you with your due diligence period and save you from game-changing mistakes. As an experienced property manager and investor of over 21 years, he's going to share one of the hard-learned lessons when he decided not to buy title insurance. He's also done flips, wholesale, buy and hold, and small multifamily himself. He'll share which one is his favorite and why. Let's take a look. Welcome to Seeking Unemployment, a show dedicated to the most efficient way to financial freedom. Let's talk about multifamily.
Okay.
So, what is the difference for you from a duplex and a 50 or 100 unit apartment complex?
Right.
What kinds of things do you do differently? What's the process there? And also, how many apartment complexes do you manage right now?
Well, we've got 4 or 5 right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's, 20-25% of our portfolio, and the rest is single family. So the difference is obviously there's a little bit different structure and pricing. Everybody wants to know, is it still $89 a door? I'm like, well, no, it's not, because there's some difference there with some scale.
Yep.
So
from an investor standpoint, the biggest difference is that the entire property is valued. I mean, this is how I look at it. Is the entire property is valued not by comps, but by its cash flow.
Right.
It's all income. Really, our feeling at Greenlight Multifamily is 100% that we want a really good property manager because that's going to determine what our sale exit price is in 4 or 5 years, whatever our deal outline basically looks like. So that's really, really important, because if you have a bad property manager, all of a sudden that's the easiest way to make your property worth a lot less.
Well, I like to get with the investor on that property and say, okay, what's our goal here? And if the goal is like you're saying, hey, we want to push rents, we want to make it look as nice as we can, and we're looking to exit in 3 to 5 years. That's different than the guy who says, I just mailbox money, that's it. So if you're telling me, hey, we want to push rent. So my first question is, okay, what kind of cash reserves do you have? What are you willing to do as far as vacancy? So, I mean, if you buy something with 100 doors, there are skeletons buried in there that they are not telling you about, right? So it may just be that 10 of them are a month and a half further behind than they led you to believe on the rent. So the question I ask is, okay, if we got people behind, are you prepared to have 20-25% vacancy right off the bat? Are we clearing them out in one fell swoop? Are we saying, let's see if we can drag them along while we take our actual vacants, get them renovated, and get them full, and then we start taking out on the hit list on who's late? So it kind of depends on what kind of cash people have. I had a guy who said, hey, we're going to take this place and we're going to increase rents $125. We're really going to renovate it. And when he was buying it, he thought there were 4 vacant. Well, 2 months in, after we got it with 8 vacant and then kicked out the rest of the people who hadn't paid in 3 months, we were at 16. Just like that. And he went from, we're going to renovate every unit, to just put on some paint and get some people in. So, and that's not really what we signed up for. Right? We don't want.
So did that happen? It was that poor due diligence? That's what it sounds like to me. But
we were not, full disclosure, we were not involved in the transaction of that. We were just brought in as property managers after the fact. That was the typical 1 week before closing. All right, now start doing it.
But that is something that you would normally do.
Absolutely.
A lot of the due diligence portion to let the person know, hey, this is a bad idea or a good idea.
Somebody, either you or your property manager, needs to review every lease. You need to be double checking the deposit. That's where I see a lot of people get left holding the bag. The lease says $650 deposit, and maybe their ledger only showed $400. Well, okay, you bought it, and $400 got transferred to you. Well, guess what? When they move out, you're on the hook for $650. So you want to make sure the deposits that are held match the deposits on the lease.
Yeah,
all of those.
I've also seen, I talked to friends recently who had problems with their property where there was a huge mismatch, and there were some numbers hidden in monthly monthly issues as opposed to the quarterly ones that were reported originally. And it led to a pretty big surprise once they got going on that property.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of little ways to hide things in those when there's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So due diligence on the front side is huge, and you can have your property manager help you do some of that. There's some stuff they don't need to, they don't need to be analyzing all the financials with you, but they need to be verifying that the information that was presented from the realtor is actually backed up. Like, these are the actual rents. These are the actual deposits. These are the work orders that have come in the last 30 days. These are the ones that have been closed. What are you still, are there 5-10 units that have had air conditioner calls that haven't been fixed? And it just happens to be winter, and they were at the end of the air conditioner season. They just said, just let it ride. We'll be fine. We'll fix them next year. And now it's your problem. So,
deferred maintenance is a scary issue for sure, and that's why you want to go and walk a property before.
Absolutely.
Do you guys will you walk properties with people for bigger projects like that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Is it pretty common that you'll find things that they're not seeing?
Because we look at it from, I like to look at it from a property manager, like, what do we get calls about? And that's kind of what we're looking for. A big thing right now, and it's not that we can see this, but a big thing right now that is almost an epidemic in multifamily more than single family are bed bugs. So, if you've got bed bugs and you've got connecting units, bed bug treatment is not cheap. And you're going to be doing a lot of heat and fumigation.
Yeah, that's scary. Whew. Stuff like that.
And that's stuff you can ask. Have you had any bed bug complaints? Ask the current manager.
Yeah.
The problem is when the current manager is not a professional manager. It's just the owner or a friend of the owner who's been doing it. Then you really don't know if you're getting the whole picture.
I've heard a really cool tip recently, and that was to go talk to the maintenance guy on the property. Mm-hmm. Go see if you can track that guy down and see if he's getting those things. What is he dealing with? Because he's the one boots on the ground.
Especially if he thinks, hey, I'm talking to the new owner. This is my chance to stay on. I better make a good impression. But I wouldn't want to talk to him in front of the current owner, right? Divide and conquer with the partners right there.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, cool. So let's. Do you have anything else you want to say about the multifamily side?
I 100% always on an investment property buy the title insurance. I don't care how much it costs, just buy it. There's no reason not to protect your title.
Yeah. I think most states, they require it, don't they?
You don't have to in Oklahoma.
Yeah. I know in Utah they require it. But...
Yeah. That's another, I can give you a great story on that too if you need a hard lesson learned.
Oh no. Somebody get burned pretty bad?
Well, we bought a house from the auction.
So this is your house?
Mm-hmm. Okay. We bought a house that we were investing in. Bought it from the auction. Knew it had some tax lien stuff on it. Thought we had that part figured out. Did not buy title insurance, which we should have. So go to sell the house and find out there's a state of Oklahoma tax lien that did not get cleared out on the foreclosure, and it's $20,000. So right off the bat, there goes all your profit if you think about what you're about to make. So I make some calls. I negotiated it down to $8,000. Our sale fell through, so I just kind of let it go. I'm like, well, I'm not paying anything right now until we have to. A couple months later, found somebody else that's going to buy it. I call them back up and say, hey, I noticed this expired. I didn't notice there was an expiration on that offer. She said, yeah, we can probably still do something. Let me look it up. She goes, oh, well, it looks like that old owner paid some back taxes. So now it was like $2,200 to pay off. So I just paid it all off. I said, what would have happened if I would have paid $8,000 and then they would have come back and paid? She goes, well, that old owner would have been refunded the money you paid. Ooh. I was like, oh, that would have hurt even more. Yeah. So title insurance would have been wiped out with a $500 title insurance policy.
Yeah. Well, you would not be the first person that I've heard say that insurance is a good investment.
It is. So. I also own an insurance company. So.
Do you really? That's funny.
But we're not doing title insurance.
No bias there, of course.
We don't sell title insurance. That only comes to the closing companies here. So.
So as far as investments go, you've done flips,
Mm-hmm.
you've done buy and hold. Have you done wholesales?
Mm-hmm.
And then you've done some multifamily or no?
Got a few smaller,
Like
under
duplex,
10. I've done a bunch of duplexes.
Yeah.
Duplex and quadplex is a little bit more typical, easier to find in our market.
Yeah. And then a few that are, you said 10 unit or so?
10 or less.
Yeah. Cool. So do you have a favorite?
I love single family rental.
Yeah. You're a buy and hold man.
Here's my reasons. And I say that I own duplexes as well. Single family rental to me has the best exit strategy because I can sell it. I can send it to auction. I can sell it to you and your wife who are probably going to pay way more than anybody else, or I can sell it to another investor. So I've got several exits. Whereas when you start getting into the multifamily, all they care about is that cap rate. And I'm not finding, when you look at this big pool of people buying single family homes and you say, okay, who's buying multifamily? It goes really fast.
Yeah.
So it's just my pool to exit is much smaller. That's why I love single family.
Cool. Much more liquid.
Yep.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys. If you want to reach out to Tracy, his links will be in the description below. He's a great person to get in contact with if you're looking to buy, or sell, or invest from out of state or get a property management solution from in the Oklahoma City or Tulsa, Oklahoma regions. Then click on the button down here to subscribe if you want more real estate investing content, and then watch this video up here to see Tracy teach us about the truth behind rental properties. If you're interested in investing passively through multifamily apartments, let's chat and get that ball rolling. And as always, I'll leave that link in the description below. I can't wait to talk to you guys, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next episode. Have a good one.